You guys heard nothing I said. OMG. I have literally been live all this time and you guys heard nothing I was saying because I did not add my audio to the broadcast. Oh my gosh, I'm going to probably have to edit that part out. We've been live and no one bothered to tell me that you guys didn't hear me. We are 12 minutes in almost, and you guys did not tell me that you could not hear me. I'm just going in, and y'all heard not one word. Not one word. Did y'all hear? Oh my God. Why y'all ain't tell me y'all couldn't hear me? Why? Why? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's start over, shall we? Oh wow. Okay, so I am Shakia LaBelle, also known in these creative streets as Shakia the Professor. Most of you guys know me from like doing things for sublimation, doing print and cuts, utilizing the cameo. Like that's where I kind of came on the scene at, is teaching Silhouette Studio, teaching the cameos. I'm still very much so a Silhouette girl. The templates that I'm going to show, they were created in Silhouette Studio and then they were set up to be used in Canva, but they were very much so created right in Silhouette Studio. But Canva has become one of the leading design platforms for creatives, for DIMers. I call them DIMers because of what, people say, like, oh no, I'm going to do it myself. So I don't really use the term DIY. I use DIM. So DIMers, do it myselfers. And creatives who are in business, because of its accessibility and being able to design on the go from your phone. If you have an iPad, as long as you can connect to Wi-Fi, if you have the one where you have like a mobile service on your iPad, you can design on the go. You don't have to worry about having a, laptop, because those can be a little bit pricey. It is web-based. So when they go down, you can't really design, but, it's still a great resource. And I'm seeing a lot of posts in groups, whether people are designing the back to school things themselves, or if they are purchasing templates, they'll go and they'll purchase a design file. Well, y'all call them templates. I call them design files, but they will go and they will purchase that, and they'll, because they're thinking, okay, maybe there's something wrong with my measurements. Let me use someone else's. And the thing is, it's 9.5 times out of 10. It's not just the sizing. Like, that's not the main culprit of why your prints are coming out incorrectly. It's going to be how you're saving it and then what you do with that saved file to be able to print it. Especially if you're printing from a mobile device and you're going to use like the mobile or e-printing type deal from your mobile device to your printer. There's some key things that you have to know. So this is going to be a free. I'm not doing any promo, like self-promo, because I want you guys to be able to share this in groups. I want group owners to accept and approve like this type of video. So I'm not going to do any type of technically like promo. I want you guys to really get the information that you need from like when it comes to Canva, so that you guys can stop pulling out your edges when it comes to these back to school designs and these back to school files and things. And I'm just seeing so much, so like it's way too many posts. Canva's a great resource. So many people are, entering that digital space for selling the template files and the design files with Canva, but there's some information that's missing. So I can't really, it's not self promo for any groups, but I just know like when I'm selling mine, I have like a PDF that explains like how to use it. Not everyone takes that step, and they're not showing or explaining like how to use the file. So I'm going to be the bridge in that. So I'm going to fill in that gap and show you how to get the most out of these templates that you are creating and or purchasing, to make sure that you are no longer wasting countless amounts of like just a whole bunch of paper. Okay. So now that y'all can, I'm so mad. I talked for 12 minutes. Good thing it wasn't the actual teaching part. Like, no one let me know that y'all couldn't hear me. But it's neither here nor there. We're going to get into this. Okay, guys? So if you use Canva, let me know in the chat. Put Canva in the chat. If you are someone that's using Canva, put a 1 in the chat. If you are experiencing some issues with printing out your design files and them coming out the right size for composition notebooks, for the pencils, for the glue sticks, the glue bottles, the crayons, the color pencils, no matter which brand you're using, go ahead and put it in the chat if you are experiencing some issues during this back to school, wave. I know you guys can hear me now, but I was speaking for 12 minutes and they couldn't hear me. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the first 12 minutes of this live video is dead silence. I cannot edit it on Facebook, but I'm going to make sure I go in and edit it on YouTube. But yeah, the first 12 minutes, complete silence. Well, 11 minutes and 45 seconds, complete silence, because no one told me that you couldn't hear me. But let's go ahead and get into this. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting Canva that you guys are using it. Put a 1 in the chat if you are experiencing some issues with saving it and printing it and things of that nature. Okay, so one of the most popular things right now is the composition notebooks. I will first say, let's see, which one is it? It's this one. So I will first say that composition notebook covers are not universal, guys. It is not universal. All right. Every brand, I'm going to just kind of come over here and we're just going to put in composition note. Ooh, wait, I did not say compound. I said composition. Okay. So when you're looking at these, I'm just going to go here, these composition notebooks I have never seen a composition notebook that had spirals on it. That is something that's very different. I think that's just a mock-up. But from the black band to the end. Now for the height, they are all the same, y'all. It is all the same. All the same when it comes to the height. Whether it is a standard wide rule, college rule, or if it's the primary, like for pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, even some second graders, if it's the primary one, the height of it is going to be the same. What is different is the measurement from the black band or purple band or pink band, whatever it is, but that spine cover to the end, that is what's going to be different. The wider the band, the shorter the face of the cover. The shorter the band, the more space you have. So you might end up getting like a PNG and certain things like that, and you'll end up cutting off details because it is too big and it's made for a bigger cover. So when you put it on a shorter cover, you're losing part of the details. If someone made their templates based off of the shorter cover and they don't do bleeds and things, like I design in bleeds, if they don't do bleeds and put extra spacing around it and it is designed for their cover and they're not very specific in that, hey, this was designed for the 2025 Pen and Gear from Wally World covers. These were designed from the whatever the brand is at Target. This is the side, like I use, composition notebooks from Staples, from Office Depot, from wherever they got those from. If they're not very specific in which one that they use and also which model, because they are different from like year to year. I actually have some and I'm like, oh, wow, Pen and Gear changed, how they like the banding size on it. So if they're not very specific and you just get it just to get it, they may have designed it for one that is shorter. So now when you get this, it is not going to fit. It is going to be too small for your composition notebook. That is part one, was that design file, if you are purchasing one, was it designed for your composition notebook? Understand? Make sense? So let's say, okay, we get it, we measure it, and it's going to fit. But when you go to print it out, it's too big. Now, the too small normally only happens, well, I guess if you do certain settings, it'll kind of come out small, but normally the too small only happens like if it was already too small. Most people are finding that it is way too big and it is cutting off like details, or your label isn't centered, and things of that nature. So we're going to address that. All right. So I have, this file here. When you have a template file, or like, somebody just might have like a PNG, or, just really whenever you're designing anything, like if I were to go find a picture of an apple or basketball, that's not made specifically for anything, right? You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can stretch it, do all these different things. But it is normally designed on a design page, like for like that proportional size. This is no different. So when you go into Canva and let's say, I think some people were using like, let's say 9.75 by 7.2, no, or like 6 or 6.25, 7.25, somewhere in there, right? So if you make your design page that size, that doesn't account for printing. That means that that element is that size. Now you need to open it in a design platform to be able to properly print it on the size paper that you are going to print to. Designing it is just one component. I'm doing air quotes, unlimited possibilities of how you utilize that, how you print that out. This, even though it says composition notebook, this can be shrunken down to a bookmark, to a keychain, to a tag, to so many different things. So you cannot go off of just the size. Okay. Yeah, so you can't go off of just the size, and you got to know how to either bring it back into Canva, or you have to open it in another program. I'm always going to recommend, if you're on a computer, I'm going to recommend Silhouette Studio. Open that up. You set the print size or the design page size, which will tell it like what size paper you're going to put in the printer. If you're going to use, you can use Word. You can use Affinity. You can use Photoshop. You can use Corel Draw. You can use Inkscape. You can use any design platform, as long as you are able to make a page or, a design canvas, a page, whatever it is, the size of the paper you are going to print to. If I wanted to print 2 of these at a time and I had 11 by 17, just from that one, I can't set it up that way. I would have to open it back up into Canva on a design canvas that is now 11 by 17, or I would have to open it in a design platform like Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, all the ones I named, make that page 11 by 17, bring in this file, size it, arrange it, and then send it to print. You cannot print directly from Canva. There is a print with Canva, and it's basically drop shipping it. It's sending to a third party, company, sending your design file straight to them, and they will print it out and they will ship it to you. But there is no way to hit print from a design within Canva itself and send it to the printer that you have inside of your home, your workspace, your craft space, all those things. Do we understand that part? I want to make sure that you guys are with me. Put a 2 if you're with me. You're understanding me so far. All right. You guys are with me. All right. Cool for the 2s. All right. So if I were to say, okay, so I want to show you 2 different things right now. This is a file where it is designed to the exact size that you will need, of course, with a bleed, right? It is not optimized for printing. I'm going to come over here. This particular one, as you can see, there's extra white space. This design page is 8.5 by 11. That is the paper size that I will end up printing to. So as you can see, the design does not take up that entire space. But once I print it, it's going to be the correct size. When you get certain files, if you go to position and go to arrange, well, actually, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go to the file, right? And a lot of times it will tell, say this says multi-design, so it's not going to show me. Okay, so I have to do it where, okay, hold on. All right, I'll do it like this. Let's go back into Canva and I'm going to open up one of the composition templates. Okay, let's just open up this one, which this is all like weird now. Oh man, this is a this one is a multi-design also. Okay, perfect though. Even though it's a multi-design, it's perfect. I know you guys can't see it, but right here, it says that this design or this, let me see, I gotta move it. Position. Okay, perfect. Because this part was a little bit too big. So it's saying that this design page, like how it was, if you were to open it up, it is 971 pixels wide by 1481 in height. How many of you actually know how to read? Like if you do not know how to read pixels, put a 3 in the chat. You're like, when you get these files and they are in pixels, you are completely lost when it comes to sizing. If you are not familiar with how to read pixels, put a 3 in the chat. I need for you guys to like this video. When you come in, drop a comment. This is important information for everyone that is, especially with all this back to school stuff. You don't want to keep wasting sticker paper and photo paper and all of that. I, really would appreciate it. If you guys could give the video a like, share it out, tag a friend, tell them, hey, go ahead. I know you're at work. Put your headphones in. This is some information, or at least save the video, come back and watch this video, because this is going to give you the information you need to stop wasting sticker sheets, glossy paper, things of that nature. Okay. So 3, I'm seeing a bunch of 3s where you guys do not know how to read pixels. This is this is really, really big. So one of the things that I have found out with like my files, when I bring them in, the equivalent is 104. It's like it's sizing it based off of 144 pixels. So what that means is when you see whatever that pixel size is, you want to divide that by 144 and it will give you the height. Okay. So divide it by 144 and it will give you the height. If you have Pro, there is a automatic resize, right? So this is a Pro feature. You can click on that and then you can tell it to resize it. You would go custom and then you would change that to inches and it will give you like, well, it kind of gave me mine like a little bit too, well, that one, I don't think that was the equivalent of that particular one. Hold on. Yeah, that was a different size. But when you change it to inches, it will normally give you the equivalent of that. Or just go ahead, like I said, divide it by 144, and I'll show you that. So up here, it says, well, I don't know, this one might be different. I'm going to see if it comes out to the same for this particular, how this came up, because that's, all right, let's clear this out. Open it. open my calculator. So I'm going to go 1478 divided by 144. So that should be, so this one is a little bit different on here. This one, I think it may have done 96, but I know like when my design files and I open them up, and I've already done the math on mine is 144. But that's what the pixel size that came up is not my design size. So they may have done, this one may have been 96. So let's see, 14278 divided by 96. No, that's not 69. Okay, yeah. So this one was based off of 96. And that is the standard. 96 DPI is the standard for Canva. But for certain designs, I will say, like I said, for mine, it was 144. It's going to be one or the other, most likely. So if when you purchase your file, if they at least put in the description what that file size should be, well, I wouldn't say they put it in the description because then that will kind of, unless it's like just a regular design file, but as far as some people, when it comes to templates, they don't tell you their sizes. But if they told you their size, and it comes in pixels, divide that by 96 or 144. Put that in the chat. 90 divide by 96 or divide by 144. One of those numbers should come out to be close to closer to the size. So like with this one, if I did 144, it came out to 15 inches. Well, I think it came out to something else. Like that may have been, well, actually, I probably could have done that. 144 may have been like too small. 96 is way too big. Hopefully they kind of just let you know what you have to size it to. But if you are designing and you pick up something and it's like directly from Canva and it is in pixels, I can tell you right now, divided by 96, any of the templates directly from Canva, divided by 96 to get the size in inches. All right. That's what you want to do. But if it's from an outside person, like I said, my files, I sell them in PSD. So it's 144 when you bring it into Canva. You can resize. So you'll hit inches and then you'll resize it to whatever that size is. Once you do that, all of the elements will also now show in inches. Because if I were to bring something in right now, so let's just go elements. I'm going to just bring in this C, right? I'm going to go to position. Right here, it is reading in pixels. If I were to go ahead and we're going to go resize, I'm going to go to custom size. I'm just going to change this to inches, like exactly how it is. I'm going to select it. I'm going to tell it that I only want it to do page 1. Okay, done. And then I'm just going to say copy and resize because I don't want it to necessarily change this one. Although I could have had it change this one, but I'm going to tell it. So I'm going to tell it to open this one, right? Now, when I go in to position, it shows me that element in inches. It now says 4.04 by 5.44. So whatever the main design is, like whatever that unit of measurement is what the elements will show. So you want to change that. If you don't know how to calculate and you're not able to design that way with pixels and you want things to be a specific size. Now, if you're just sizing for placement, that's not a big deal. But if you're wanting it to be a specific size, you need to make sure that your design page is in the unit of measurements of like inches. If you're starting brand new, when you're in Canva, you would go to the top. We're going to go over here and you would go custom size. And you want to make sure that the units are in inches before you design. Don't just click on something and just hit start creating because it's going to be in pixels. It will default to pixels. Okay. So we got that out of the way. We know that most of the designs will come in pixels. So if you want to see it and know the exact size based off of whoever you got the template from, or your measurements, you want to make sure it's in inches. That's going to be number one, going from DPI or pixels to inches. That's important. Now, once you have your design all done up, okay, here we go. And you go to save it. So I'm going to go share. I'm going to go download. People will say, oh, save it as a PDF, save it as a PNG, save it as a JPEG. It's a lot of back and forth on which way, like which file format is the best or the proper way to do it so that you get great prints. None of these matter. I'm going to tell you right now, none of that matters when it comes to printing. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to choose JPEG. There's no need for me to save this as a PNG. There's no transparent element to this, so I don't need it to be a PNG. I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. JPEG, you also are able to adjust the quality when it's a JPEG. PNG, you cannot adjust the quality when it comes to a PNG, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to do page 1, and we're going to go done. And then we're going to go ahead and download that. I'm going to come right back in here, and I'm going to go download. I'm going to change it because people will say PDF. So we're going to make that a PDF, and we're going to go ahead and download that. Doesn't matter if it's print or standard. So what I'm going to do while the PDF is going, I'm going to go ahead and open up this file. Okay. As you can see, there's no extra to it. It's right to the edges of the way that this was designed. All right. I'm going to go and hit print. And we're going to go and choose, I hate when it does that. We'll choose my pigment ink printer. Where'd you go? All right. And come on. Because from here, I have to go through this whole little thing. If I were to take it into Silhouette Studio, I don't. I hate when it does this. It takes forever to connect. Okay, let's see. Can I get you to connect to my Canon faster? Where is my Canon? Bruh, seriously? Seriously. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go. What are you doing? Okay. Oh, it's doing something. It still has the little thinking thingamajiggy going on. All right. While my computer goes through some technical difficulties, we're going to just come back over here real quick because I have no idea what it's doing. I'm going to come back to this one now. And okay, it's something with the internet because my background didn't even fill in. What is going on here? Why did my background not fill in? Okay, I can see it here. All right, something funky is going on with my internet right now. Let's see. We're just going to download it anyway and see what happens because what the heck is going on? Current page 6, download. Hopefully it has the background. Nope, it's not because I can see right there. Why is it not accounting from a background? That is so weird. Oh, no, it did. It still brought it in. So you can see the difference here in that it goes like you see the outline around it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit print. Okay, there we go. So now it will print the correct way. If I go to, even if it's like says full page, it's the full page. You can't really see much of anything because the background of it is white. So I'm going to go back to that other image and we're going to go print. Okay. So now with this one, I'm going to go 8.5 by 11. I'll say full page, but it's going off, right? So, and then why is it in landscape? Let's go portrait. So full page, you can see it is automatically going to attempt to do the full entire page. That is too big. If you go to, let's see. Well, we have to do 8 now. Okay, so fill page. Let's say we go shrink to fit. It's going to shrink the sides, but if you notice, the height is still too tall. These notebooks are not 11 inches long. So when you put it on there, parts of it is going to, like major parts of it can get cut off because this is going off of the exact sizes there and it's going to stretch it to try and fill in on this paper. All right. So I'm going to cancel out. I'm going to go to this one again, and I'm going to hit print. I'm going to go portrait. And you can see here, it's not going all the way to the edge. It's showing it in the middle of an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. That is what you want to see. How do you get to this point, right? How do you get to this point where you can see the paper around it? You have to save that file that was the regular size and bring it back into Canva. This does mean that now your phone, if you're using your phone or your mobile device, whatever it is, you are now taking up space on that device. Make sure that you go in, like if you don't want that like actual file, make sure you delete it because that's going to keep adding space to your computer, to your mobile device, things of that nature. Because now you're going to have two of the same design just in two final like sizes. So it will take up space. What you would end up doing is coming into Canva and okay, there we go. So you would come, bring it back into Canva and you're going to create a custom size. So you can either create a new design page that is a custom size for 8.5 by 11. But here is an amazing thing that Canva added to their new update. You do not need Pro for this. You need Pro in order to resize the entire thing. You do not need Pro to use multiple design pages. If you come down here, if you just click the plus sign, it is going to give you a design page based off of what's already there. What you need to do is click on the arrow that's next to it. You're going to see this pop up, okay? You're going to come to more. And if it's not already there, for me, it's a recent one. You're going to click on custom size. It's the same way that you would do it if you were initiating a design file. You're going to click on the units of measurement, go to inches, and you're going to type in 8.5 by 11. Create a new page. This now represents the design page, like the paper, not design, the paper that you are going to print to. If you were going to do 11 by 17, you have to make a design page that's 11 by 17. So people ask, well, how do I print more to a page? So you have 11 by 17, you're going to have that. And then you would put two of them on there so that you can print out two on the 11 by 17. If you're using 8.5 by 14 inch paper because you want to do, the print, you want to do your pencil, you want like whatever it is, you need to make that the size paper you are going to print to, no matter what it is you're doing in Canva. If you had a design that was, let's just say 11 by 20, and you wanted to go to CVS and you wanted to print on their 16 by 20 adhesive prints, you would need to create your design, right? You want your design page to be 11 by 20 so that you know that that's the final size. You then need to make a new page that's 16 by 20, drop in that 11 by, 11 by 20 on there, and then make sure it's the right size and save it again. That way, when they upload it and they are resizing this to 16 by 20 or 16 by 24, whatever it is, your design maintains its proper size. If you don't, it's going to end up being too big. This is also what was happening with those TV trays. So now that we have this, I'm going to drag and drop that file back in here. Okay. It will not come back in the correct size. So you have to know what size you designed it to. So I'm going to go to position, and I'm in inches because I created a file that was in inches, no matter what the original one was. You can have, because you have multiples now, like the ability to do multiple pages, you can have some pages that's in pixels. You can have some pages that's in inches. That's one of the greatest features of like the new Canva update. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change my height. Oops. I stretch it out. I need to lock it. Make sure that you lock it first. I was like, wait, why did I do that? And now I'm going to change my height. Once I do that, I'm going to position it. And then this is what this is. And you would go ahead and save that. Okay. You would save this again and then print it. If you do not want to have to save again on your mobile device, your computer, and have these two files, this is where design programs come in, like Silhouette Studio. Okay. And you would create a design page that was the size paper that you want to print to. And when you bring in your design, it's going to come in a little bit bigger over here. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to change my height to the size that it should be. Dude, why everybody want to act crazy today? There we go. I'm going to place it, and then I would be able to just print it. And then I can close out this file. I don't have to save it and take up space because I have the original image, and I can always bring that back in, resave it, do all of those things. So I don't necessarily need, to have a file that's the original size and have a file that's a JPEG or PNG or PDF that is the 8.5-inch paper with my design in the middle. I can open that up. I can size it. If I wanted to put this on a tag or whatever, like make what are people making? The hall passes. I can shrink and make that smaller. If I wanted that to be 4 inches or 5 inches tall, I make it that size, and I'm still going to put it in the middle of this 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I'm going to print it out just like this. Or I could, rotate it and add multiple to a, well, probably got more if I did it this way. Yeah, no, so I got 5 on here. So I would add a bunch of them on there, and then I'm going to print it. There's a difference between the actual element. Once you save that, it's no different than if you were to bring in a picture of an apple, a basketball, a boat, a flower, whatever it is. You have that one individual element and you're now sizing it to fit. That JPEG becomes that. That's what it is. You have the exact size of it. Now, if you go in and design, so let's say you want to design, I got to find it. Hold on. I had them all set up here. Okay. So here we go. let's say you have like these, I'm gonna go with the crayon one. This one right here, nope, wrong one. No, it's the right one. These are designed, well, it actually has extra here. Let's do this. Let's go. I thought I opened up. Okay, here it is. So there's no extra like here, right? It is the exact size. Like, so now when you're placing things, if it's in pixels, you don't really have to know like the exact size. You're just going to go ahead and start adding your design elements to this. So if I go over here, if I add, I'm just going to say, I don't know. Let's just go science. I don't know why I chose science. It's just something school related. I'm a science nerd. So let's just say we add this. We add background. So I'm going to go to here and let's say we add this science, and I now need to move all of these. So there's two ways. Like I can either like just make the color, make these, certain colors, or I can fill them in, like, because it's a frame there now, I can fill it in with other stuff, whatever. So I'm just going to leave that like that for now. Actually, I'm just going to delete these. And I'll move these up. Same thing here, the sides and stuff, you can fill them in with something, or if you wanted it to just be solid colors, you delete them, the solid colors are there. This is now saved, so I would have to go in and save that. And then if I wanted to, I would bring that back into, so I have my design page is 8.5 by 11. I would bring that into here and put it with my color pencil box, put it with my pencil wrap, put it with my whoever, whatever. And I would have all of them on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of like, or design canvas, because that's going to represent the sheet of paper. And then I can print that out. Can you design on like already on 8.5 by 11? You absolutely can. These are set up that way, where it has the box that's the equivalent of the crayon cover, and you go and you design. You just have to make sure, like when it is, let's say here, I'm able to kind of go off. If I wanted this to go off of the edge, I'm able to just have this go off the edge, right? And it's not going to be a part of my design. But if I bring that over here and I place it, let's zoom in. Dude. And I place it, it's off. So you have to then go in and like crop it down to the edges so that it doesn't show. And like your final, like the actual cut size of this is like the final size. If not, you leave it, when you go, it's going to be hard for you to know the size, because that's going to add to the width and the height. I don't know. That's a lot of information. Hopefully I'm making sense with that. That's going to add to it. So you have to make sure that all of your elements fall within the bounding area of that template. And then there's going to be some things like if we go to composition, notebook, and let's say you use, they have a graphic that is already a composition. So let's say you use this. You cannot manipulate this to make it a certain, like to fill out the entire thing. So you cannot stretch it. Even if you go to position, it's going to be locked. And when you change the height, it's going to automatically change the width. You change the width, it's going to change the height. This is something that also cannot go into a frame. So let's say we go here, I'm going to add it. This cannot go into a frame. And it's not because it's behind it, because if I were to take this and bring it over, it would jump into that frame. This cannot go into a frame, which is why, okay, let me go find it. So ones that are like this is that same one. It's just you're able to change the color, right? If you notice, it is bigger than my design area, because in order to fill it, I have to like just stretch it out. I won't see all of that extra because the design page is the exact size page that I need. So I can make things bigger. I can have them go off the edge. I can do a lot more when it's to the exact size compared to, okay, I don't want to deal with this. I'd rather make a rectangle that's 9.75 by 7.25, put that on an 8.5 by 11. I'm going to create my design. That works depending on the elements that you are using. If you wanted to use Canva's composition like specs, that won't work because you cannot force it to fit into a certain size. Does that make sense? Please let me know. Like the way I teach, I have to understand that it makes sense to you. And I have to kind of explain it in a different way. I'm a teacher. So I teach. I don't just kind of just do the tutorial show and tell. I'm trying to make sure that you guys understand how Canva works. So I'm going to take a little pause because I've been talking for a little minute there. Hope you guys have hit share. You've liked this video. If you haven't said hello, just dropping a comment helps the algorithm. It helps those who need this information find this ultimate mini class on designing, sizing, and printing in Canva. Someone says, I'm understanding now. Okay, I'm so glad to help you understand how all of this works. So you guys understand. We're good. I can move on. Can I move on? Yes or no? Yes, no, maybe so. Can we move on? Are there any questions? Yes, no, maybe so. You are very welcome. Yeah, so somebody put most are 9.75 by 7.5. So even if you were to add extra to that, you have to know how to properly save it and print it. All right. Okay, cool beats. So I didn't open up that PDF. So I want to make sure I show, whoa. Oh, wait, no. Okay, there's nothing on that one anyway. So want to make sure that I show the PDF. Okay, so this is the PDF, because some people will say, oh, save it as a PDF, right? That's kind of the default when the PNG and the JPEG doesn't work. So we go here and we go to save, and we go to print. It's going to end up being kind of sort of the same. So now it's pushing it up to the top of it. There are print margins on your printers. If I print this to my Canon, the print margin is way wider than my Epson. So I'm going to lose 0.25 inches of my design because of the standard print margin. So when it prints out, it's going to have a white border. So it's like, it's going to have a white border. And if you cut that down, it's going to be, now your cover is going to be too small. For certain things, you can't print borderless. Certain printers, you can't print borderless. It just doesn't offer that for certain sizes, right? So you're going to have that. So going to PDF does not always make it like fit. So we go to default. So I'll say fit to printable area. So you can do that. But within the printable area, it's going to account for the margins, right? So we're going to go, it's big up here, it's small here. Oh, sidebar. This is also why when you guys print double-sided, this is why it never lines up. This is showing printable area, like it maxed it out to the printable area. And when it comes to printers, there is naturally more of a margin on the top than it is the bottom. And this is that representation of that. Can you guys see how much space is at the top? And then look at how much space is at the bottom. So when you guys are designing it and you're putting it in the same position, you're flipping it, it's technically like printing this thicker part on the back side. It's at the bottom. So it's not going to line up. So that's a little sidebar when it comes. There's a certain way that you have to set your prints up to be able to print properly double-sided. But I just wanted to, since it was the representation, the visual representation was there, I wanted you guys to see why when you're doing double-sided prints, this is why they are off. The leading edge margin is always thicker than the bottom edge. And when you flip it, you're technically flipping the direction it goes in. So it's going to shoot out like more before it starts to print. Hopefully that makes sense. That was a little sidebar. Sorry if that was a distraction and that wasn't helpful, but that's how that. But I'll go printable area. If I go fit to paper, it's going to take up the whole thing. And if you go custom, you would have to know what that percentage was, but it's also still going to put it in the top corner. So saving as a PDF does not help you if you have not made your design page 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14 or 11 by 17 or whatever size you want to print from. So if I now come here to this one and I go share, I'm going to go download. I'm going to go for this one, PDF. Oh, not all the pages, baby, just the one. And then download. Done and download. When that PDF opens, you're going to see how different it is than the original one that we opened up. Okay, wait for that. There we go. It's up there. We're going to 1 second, 0 seconds done. We're going to open that up. Now do we see how different this is? We now have space. If we go to print, I'm going to go to more settings. I'm going to go default. It's still, we have that extra space. If I go fit to printable area, that made it small. We don't want to do that because the design page itself is 8.5 inches by 11. And so it's going to take that and shrink that down to be within that top and bottom margin. So we don't want to do that. Never choose printable area. Fit to paper, that would work, but you can just go to default, and that is, you don't want any scaling on it because it is already set up to print to 8.5 inches, 8.5 by 11, letter size paper. Okay. So just to kind of go, we're going to go over this again. You need to know the size so that you can either make a rectangle or make a frame that size. So like someone just said, in the group that most of the composition notebooks are 9.75 by 7.25. So if you go in here and we're going to unlock it, we're going to make our width 7.25 by 9.7 by 9.75. Right? So that would be right to the edge. Someone did ask the question, how do you have a bleed in Canva? You just make it bigger than what it is. So Canva doesn't offer you something that will allow you to offset and things of that nature. You just make it bigger than what you are designing for. So if you decide that you wanted to make it a 1/2 inch bigger, this becomes 7.5 and the height becomes 10.25. If you wanted to make it a 1/4 inch difference, you would just do the math to make that bigger. But when you are designing, you have to remember, not to take your design all the way to the edge because you have 0.25 all the way around. The other thing, though, is when it comes to composition notebooks is you're always going to cut this edge right here. Okay. So you have like 0.25 on this side. Like that's what you have to account for. So not splitting it and like just designing in the middle, you're going to cut from this edge. So you have to account for 0.5, should I say, from this side. That's a whole lot. That's why some people were doing just like 0.25, 0.125, just to get like a little bit extra. But that's up to you. So for bleeds, for the person that asked about bleeds in Canva, you just make your design page a little bit bigger. How big is up to you. There is no right or wrong in how big that will be, because some people want to fold it over into the composition notebook, and then they'll put like another sheet of paper like on the inside of it, kind of like a regular book. So they want to see that decorative border on the inside of it as well. So some people do it, they choose to do it that way. I don't really care to do it that way because you're not going all the way to the black spine. So you're going to end up with, that decorative piece only being on a portion of the inside of your notebook. That part that's close to the spine or the edge, it's just going to be the regular composition notebook because you're not going all the way to the edge. So be mindful of things like that if you're just going to fold it to the inside versus trimming. It makes sense? That one you may need like a visual of it, but I'm not on camera today. So that's how you'll do your bleed. So like I said, you can do it this way. You have 8.5 by 11. You're going to put it there, but you have to remember that any design elements that you bring in. So let's just go, abstract. Why is he torturing my kid? So let's say we did that. You need to lock it because if you now bring in new elements, it's going to take over. I'm just going to add like this graphics. So you have to make sure that it stays inside if it's here. So when it comes to graphics, let's say you did not want this entire like element and you wanted just part of it. You see how when it goes off of the page, you don't have all of it. So if I made this 9.75 by 7.25, I could just have it hang off the page and it's not going to be there. But I have to have this like this. I cannot adjust a graphic. There's a difference between graphics and photos and things like that in Canva. That everything in Canva doesn't operate the same way. So you would have that element. You would have, I'm just going to put in whatever text they have here. So color pop. We can't bring color pop all the way to the edge. So you can, so for me, when I'm designing, I'm going to zoom in so that you can hopefully see. I usually have a safe zone, but what I also have on my templates is this line right here. And that lets the user know that this is the edge. This is like the true edge of the composition notebook. So you don't want to put anything outside of that because it's for sure going to get cut off if it's past that red line, which is why I make it red. It's like, stop. It needs to be within that. If you don't have, you can make your own, just make sure that you delete it. So even on mine, you have to make sure that you move that to the back. But if you wanted to know where your edge was, you would need to make a box. So we're going to go to elements. We're going to go to shapes. And then the original, we said, so we're going to go to position. We said that was 7.25 by 9.75. Oops. By 9.75. So if you just kind of put that there, it'll let you know, you'll know where to kind of place it. You just have to make sure that you delete this before you go and save it. So you will put that there. You will put whatever elements. And then when you save this, you won't have to worry about bringing it back in or saving it a second time. It is going to be the correct size. Okay? It's going to be the correct size to print. That's going to be for any of these back to school. Where is the other one? Any of these back to school like design files. This is 8.5 by 11. I put all of them here. I save it. It's gonna be ready to cut and apply. But I also have these set up where it is the actual size. So we're going to go, I'm going to go to projects and I will add in, see, so it's going to fill that in. I will be able to go in, design, add stuff to it. For my son, disclaimer, I'm not selling anything, but I will go and design it for my kids and then be able to save it. So I like to print from Silhouette Studio. That's just my program of choice to print from. If you're going to print from Photoshop, you just make sure that design page is not like just a random size. You make it 8.5 by 11, 300 DPI, and you're going to put your design in there. You're going to size it and then just send it to print so that it's the correct size. Hopefully this has been helpful. Let me know if this has been helpful for you in saving your edges and not pull them out because your files are coming out the wrong size. Measure. Then you have to decide, do you want to make your Canva design page the exact size of whatever that thing is, or do you want to add like a bleed and think you have to add extra? So you make the design page that size. You're going to go in, you're going to put your design, you're going to save it. If you only utilize Canva and you do not use another design platform, you will need to create a new Canva page, either brand new or by hitting the arrow, going to more, making it 8.5 by 11, and then bringing that saved JPEG, that saved PNG, drag and drop it in there, make sure it's the right size, and save it again so that you can print from your phone or your mobile device or print directly from the JPEG. My recommendation, if you have a computer, is to not print directly from the JPEG. It is free to every person. I am not an affiliate of Silhouette America. I promise you, I wish I was getting a check because I've been helping people get a bag for a decade now. I am not an affiliate. I recommend it because it is what's most helpful to the craft community. Get Silhouette Studio. It's so many people that design in Canva, but they print from Silhouette Studio. It is free. People would suggest Word. Microsoft Word is not free. You have to pay for that subscription. Not everybody has Microsoft Word on their computer. Now you can use Google Docs. So you can use things like that to open it up and make sure it's the right page and bring it in there. But you have to open it in something that is set to 8.5 by 11 or whatever size paper you are going to print to. Do you understand? Has this been helpful for you? Do I have any questions? Told y'all I'm a very detailed educator. So it's been an hour because 12 minutes, y'all didn't tell me y'all couldn't hear me. But hopefully this hour has been worth it, where it is like you understand now DPI, how to divide it to get the right size. Somebody says they just use Google Conversion, so you can use that as well. But you have to know what measurement to use. So knowing that if you had something directly from Canva, divide it by 96. If you have any of my stuff, it's by 144. Yes. So someone says, I do have Microsoft Word. So you can use that. But when it comes to Word, when you're bringing in pictures, there's a certain way, like you have to go in and like make it you can't just bring it in and be able to position it. You got to, bring to front, send to back. It's something weird that you have to do in order to like really move it around your page. You don't have to worry about that at all. Silhouette Studio, you bring that in, you resize it, call it a day. And most times it will come in like at the right size. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I completely forgot that on Facebook, I can't see your comments. Oh, hold on. If y'all left comments, I can't see them from StreamYard. My bad, people. My bad. My bad. My bad. Oh, Lord, hold on. Let me go see if I had some from my Facebook one, because see 11 comments. My bad, y'all. It's charge it to my heart. Charge it to my mind, not my heart. That's exactly what I did in Silhouette Studio. Not a lot of a lot of people don't teach the way that you do. Someone says always look it up. Okay, so I didn't miss any questions over there. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. All right, no questions. Can never say I didn't open the floor for you guys to ask the questions that you needed. So if there are no questions, I am going to go because I got to do a senior crown. Until next time, guys, have a great one. To any groups that allowed people to share it or you accepted mine, I thank you. Did not self-promote, because this is very, very helpful information for crafters at large, because I am seeing that this is a really, really big issue. I see that question 30,000 times in a group about why their stuff is not coming out the correct size. Sticker paper ain't cheap. You don't want, it's not like regular paper that costs you a couple cents. You paying like 30 to 50 cents for a sticker sheet. They're not cheap. So I want to be able to save you the headache, save you on resources and paper. So thank you to any group owners that allowed this video to be broadcast in your group. I really appreciate it. It's definitely going to help your members. How do I transfer from Canva to Silhouette to print? Oh, so you just open it. So you're not transferring it from Canva. That's a really great question, Sam. Thank you for that. So I'm a Google Chrome girly. I don't know. I think if you use like Microsoft Edge and what's the other one from Mac? Safari and Firefox, it may go to the top. So see, I'm a Google Chrome girl. Okay. So when I say from Canva, it goes like right up here and it's like a whole list. So for me, all I have to do is drag and like bring it to the silhouette icon and drop it in, and it's going to be in there. In there. Is that how they go? I don't know. So it's going to be in Silhouette Studio. It's going to come in big, but it's in there. So I would go to transform, and then I'm going to change my height to 11, and see my width went to 8.5, 8.5, right? So that I will be able to then center this, and then I can print it because it was saved that way. The other way that you can bring it in is to go File, Open, and that will open up a new page. Or you would go, like, let's say you're already working in something, you would go File, I'll open up, let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to move this over, and I'm going to go File, Merge. I'm going to go to Downloads, and I will bring in, let's say, this file right here. Whoa, you came in huge. And we're just going to shrink it down. Well, I'll come over here, lock it. I'll make that the size it's supposed to be, and then I can center it. So you can go File, Open, and it will just open it up brand new. Or if you're already working on something, you go File, Merge, and that will bring that in. Or drag and drop. You can even drag and drop from, let's see. So I need an image, not any of those. I need an image. Okay, so let's just say this one. I was working on this the other week. So you can click, drag, and drop, and that will open that up as well. This was from Canva because my client designed it in Canva. I saved it, and then I bring it over into Silhouette Studio to set up my print and cut. So you can just drag and drop, File, Open, File, Merge. Those are all the ways. Of course, anytime I go live, anytime I do anything, so the person asking, is this video going to be, is this video going to be able to replay? Got to go, pick up cake for my granddaughter? Yes, it will. Anytime I go live, the videos are up for replay. Okay. Anything that I do is always, you get the replay to it. I know people are busy. Some people at work probably got me on like the volume all the way down. So you definitely can go watch it at full blast. I am naturally loud. So you may still have to turn me down because I'm naturally very, very loud. And I have a really, really great mic. So yes, you can watch it anytime. You are very welcome. Now, right as I was about to get off, I got 2 questions. Max, open the door again. Any questions before I log off? Make sure that you share this with a friend. Let them know the first 12 minutes, it was silence. Don't think that this is like, well, what you send me here for? Something to skip past that, go to like 15 minutes. And that is where everything starts because, yeah, y'all didn't let me know that I was muted for 12 minutes, okay? All right. Thank you so very much. It doesn't show me what you sent because of like how StreamYard is, but I'll go look at it over on Facebook afterwards. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. I like digital flowers. I can't stand real flowers. So digital flowers, I like. My husband hates the fact that I don't like flowers. If you are just coming on, you missed it. We've been on for an hour, but I did go and actually show how to read your files and size them and understand like dividing by 96 or 144 to go from pixels to inches, how to save it, how to bring it back in. I gave a full demo on how it would print out, showing, if you use fit to page, whatever, and why it's coming out wrong. So if you're just coming in, we are wrapping up. Once I'm done, go ahead, rewind it, start it from the beginning, start around like 15 minutes, and you will get all the information that you need to understand why your prints are not coming out correctly, whether you are buying a design file or you are making it yourself. Okay. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.